I always saw kids coming into my school in the morning to get breakfast. I just figured they ate late or something, or they didn't eat. I never realized how many kids, because going from 8 to 300 just in Leominster, it shows how many kids there are, and we don't even have all of them.
Most kids in high school are blind to any issues because they're just in their own life and they're not really thinking about, oh, I wonder if he had dinner last night. They're probably just like, oh, I have a test today.
I never realized that the poverty was to the level that it is in our community. Why did it take a 10-year-old to notice that this need existed? What happened with all of us adults, and why didn't we notice it first? My name is Lori Bateman, and I'm Kylie's grandmother, and I'm kind of the adult behind the scenes. I never realized that the poverty was to the level that it is in our community. When Kylie first noticed it, I was aware that there were children that got free lunch at school, but I never understood the depth of it.
When we first started our nonprofit, we didn't know that there were as many kids in need as we thought there were. When I first started, I noticed kids eating breakfast at my school, and I just wanted to help those kids. And now we're in all 9 public schools in Leominster, grades pre-K through 12th grade.
We're at the Francis Drake School, which was previously known as Southeast School, and this is where Kylie started her mission.
There's a lot of kids out there that don't have food, and we try to make a difference by giving them food and giving them shelter, helping their lives get better. How do you expect to live without any food or water?
Thankfully, there are a lot of organizations like ourselves, like Kylie Care Kits and like Ginny's. There's a lot of organizations to address it, but the reason there are so many organizations is because the need is out there. There's hundreds of families that are in need, and the need comes from a stigma where they're afraid to get help. It comes from people being underemployed, where yes, they may have a job, but they don't have enough to afford rent, plus food, plus medical expenses, plus transportation expenses. And oftentimes, what we see is the parents will need it almost more than the kids, because parents will do what they can to get their kids food and then they'll not eat themselves.
It's one thing to know that there are people that are hungry, it's another thing to actually see it taking place. It hits closer when you start to make bonds with the kids that are there, just really seeing them going through poverty. When we were doing the ice cream social, there was a boy that kept coming back to get ice cream, and he got 10 or more bowls of ice cream. So around the 8th time I asked him, "You must really like ice cream." He goes, "Yeah, I've never had it before." And this kid was 11 years old maybe, and he's never had ice cream before. They can't afford food, therefore they can't afford the little luxuries that we get to have, like ice cream.
One of the first families that we interacted with consisted of a mom and dad and 3 children. They lived in a hotel room, all 5 of them. Not enough room for them all to sleep in beds. The youngest brother, who was in middle school, slept on the floor. Mom and dad both worked. They didn't own a car, but they both worked full time. They weren't able to save the money to get an apartment, and because of that, they lived in this horrible, ratty hotel room. We found out that they were teased and taunted. The daughter, who was in the 7th grade, would be called the hotel rat when she was dropped off at the hotel every day from the school bus. And Kylie and I were really haunted by that thought. They were living in this horrible place, but yet they were working and contributing to society and paying taxes, and nobody was helping them. A lot of people will say things like, well, they don't work, or they're drug addicts, or their parents are alcoholics, and that's not the case. Some of these families have fallen on hard times, and you never know. You live week by week with your paycheck, and one week you lose your job, and suddenly you can't pay your bills, and you're evicted, and you have to live in a hotel room with your family. And they're good people, and they're caring people, and they don't deserve to live that way.
I've heard that Massachusetts is the lowest of needs for hungry students, but let's put it out there. If there's one kid that's hungry, there's one too many. And if we're the lowest, you can only imagine what the more impoverished areas of the country, whether they're urban, whether they're rural, whatever it is, can be hitting. It's got, the numbers must be astronomical. There's a contingent of people that we don't know about. With the numbers being, 300, 350 bags that go out each week, and those are just the kids that we're aware of, and that's just in our public school. Take that number and go statewide here, and if that's the lowest, it's a frightening amount of people in this country that are going hungry.
I think for the people that address this problem, they address it passionately, and they do everything they can to get it out there and let the community know as a whole what's going on. And for other people, if they don't know about it, they don't have to think about it. And some people are uncomfortable thinking about people in their own community needing help with food or shelter or substance abuse problems or things like that, and people get uncomfortable.
The reason that I do what I do is because I know that there's so many children in need out there, and the passion of the community just drives me. I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy the interaction with the kids. I enjoy seeing the smiles on their faces when they get their care kits. It's just a great feeling.
It's sort of like opening your eyes to seeing like the problems and how you can fix them in the community, how you don't really have to do much, but just doing a little is really helpful. It's not like hours in your day, it's not a real toll on your life, but it just makes you feel good about doing something.
It's very rewarding when you actually meet the families that you're giving to, and they're very thankful, and it just feels really good to know that you help that feed them and their children every week.
I remember one time when we were handing him out at the hotel, this dad came out to us and he was like, "Thank you so much, you've been helping me so much with this."
The biggest reward is the feeling in your heart, knowing that you've made a difference in someone's life. When we go to the hotel, the kids will come running to see, and you'll hear them yelling, "Kylie's here, Kylie's here." We've gotten phone calls as families have been moving out of the hotel, "Come and see us. This is our last day here. We want to say bye. We want to thank you. We love you so much." She has made contacts with families that she will have for a lifetime. Someday these young kids are going to remember, when I was a little girl, there was this girl named Kylie and her friends who made a difference in my life. They played with me. They came and brought me Christmas gifts and food. And if you give back and give to other people, you get back a million times more than what you give. It's really important for people to know that this whole mission was started by Kylie. She noticed, she became aware, and she made a decision to do something about something that she felt was wrong. But it doesn't exist today because of Kylie. It exists today because of all of the rest of the team. It exists because of, their parents who support it, people from the community who donate food and money. Could not be done by Kylie alone. And I think that's the most important thing that I want, and Kylie always wants people to know. Couldn't be done by her. It's done because people care, because they come together, because they're willing to help and make a difference.